we are really honored to have Tyson here. Donnie, I know that you are not a Johnny-come-lately to this area. It's been a focus for you for some time, and we thank you for your new commitment.
Thanks. So thank you so much, Dr. Frieden. And we have made a lot of progress over the last few years, reducing human-use antibiotics in our poultry value chain by 80-something% over the last 4 years or so. So addressing the challenge issue, really what we need are more alternatives. You know, whether it's, and we depend on companies like Elanco and the animal pharmaceutical industry and great research and veterinarians and the academic community and others to help us find, whether it's an, you know, an enzyme or botanical or probiotic or that type, or it's, as Jeff mentioned, these animal use only antibiotics we think are very important to making sure we keep that balance between this global health concern and our commitment to animal welfare and to something Frank said, and keeping that product affordable, right? That's a very delicate balance. And so being able to straddle that fence, so to speak, by finding more alternatives. I loved hearing what the Secretary of Agriculture said about increasing the research budget. We need more research on what these alternatives might be. And we've got great partners all through the, you know, animal and livestock industry that are eager to make progress on these issues. And as we find more alternatives and we can put them into use, we'll make a lot of progress on this issue.
Thank you. And as you mentioned, the proposal for the FY16 budget has a significant increase in funds for research in this area in the animal health, and also for funds that we would provide to every state in the country to have prevention programs out there to detect, also to learn more about the human health aspects and what can be done, because some of the challenges that we have, we know how to address, and it's just a question of implementing. Others are more difficult.
So it's been interesting as we've walked down this path and been very, very intentional over the last 4 years to reduce human-use antibiotics. We've actually found a cost benefit by the mechanisms that we've put in place to reduce the use. So often drugs that are not broad spectrum, that are suited for a particular disease at a particular time for a short period of time, it's cheaper to use, and all these substances that we use are expensive. And so when we can find ways, whether it's through animal husbandry, the technology of the housing that modern animals are produced in today is phenomenal, and that environmental impact has a huge impact on their health and in keeping the cost low. So yes, there's absolutely a business case for that, and maybe to the point that Frank just mentioned, and I'll just add one point to that. Anything we can do to reduce concern on the consumer's behalf of the food they choose, because think about it, you know, we're what, 2, maybe even 3 generations off the farm today. And as the Secretary started the day, you know, what we do is pretty complicated and it's not widely known. And so consumers today aren't as informed maybe as they would have been 3 or 4 generations ago about how their food gets to the grocery store. So the things that we can do to reduce that concern are good for all of our businesses. I think the government could be very, very helpful if they would, you know, sponsor and support research that would help us find these alternatives we need to eliminate human-use antibiotics from the supply chain. The data collection comments that have already been made, can't add anything to that. But the more we know about, you know, how these antibiotics, particularly shared use or human-use antibiotics, are used today, and help the public understand that many of the antibiotics used today are not used in human medicine, I think that gives them a lot of comfort that a lot of progress is being made. So the more we can do to do those type of things to help the public understand through transparency what's really going on out there will be very, very helpful as we continue down this path.
Great. Thank you.